Dear students, in this section we are going to learn how to calculate moment of inertia of solid sphere, hollow sphere, solid cone and finally hollow cone. First of all, we are going to discuss moment of inertia of a hollow sphere. Let us take a hollow sphere of radius capital R and mass capital M. We are considering the mass is uniformly distributed over the surface of this sphere, right? We can define the surface mass density as m divided by surface area of the sphere equal to 4 pi r square. That means the surface mass density sigma we can define m divided by 4 pi r square. Okay. We can consider this hollow sphere is made of a number of the elemental rings placed coaxial with the y-axis. So here we are going to consider one elemental ring, this one, right? Let us assign the position. Here we are going to define angular position. For finding the angular position, we will join the center of a sphere to position of the ring. Let this angle is theta. So we call angular position of this elemental ring is theta. If we join the center of this elemental ring to this point, this will be the radius of this elemental ring, and we know this angle is theta, this will also be theta. That means the radius will be equal to r cos theta. Okay. Now let us consider the width of the ring, this one. For calculating width of the ring, let us join this point with this point and define this angle as d theta. So this arc length will be equal to r d theta. Okay. So we got the width, we got the radius of this elemental ring. Now we need to calculate the mass of this elemental ring. As we discussed, mass of this elemental ring should be equal to surface area of this ring multiplied by density. That is the surface mass density which we have calculated. Surface area of this elemental strip should be calculated by opening this strip, elemental ring. This will be the rectangular strip if we open this, right? And length of this elemental ring should be equal to 2 pi multiplication r cos theta, this one. Okay. And with we have calculated, that is equal to r d theta. That means area of this rectangular strip should be equal to length, this length multiplied by width, that is equal to 2 pi r cos theta multiplied by r d theta. And we have calculated the surface mass density, that is equal to m divided by 4 pi r square. That means dm, that is mass of this elemental strip, should be equal to this one, right? Now you can observe this pi and this pi will get cancelled. This r square will also cancel with this r square, and this is 2, this is 4. So this should be 2. That means the mass of this elemental ring should be equal to m by 2 cos theta d theta. We got the mass, and this is a ring, and we know the formula for the moment of inertia of a ring about the axial axis, that is equal to mr square. And for this elemental ring, the mass is this one, radius is r cos theta. That means the moment of inertia of this elemental ring should be equal to di equal to dm multiplied by r cos theta whole square. Now we can substitute the value of dm from this relation. So we got the mass, we will get the mass m by 2 cos theta d theta. So substitute here. So finally we get di equal to mr square by 2 cos cube theta d theta. For calculating total moment and inertia, we need to integrate this relation. So here I equal to integral of di, right? And integral of di term, this term is a constant. That means integration will be with this term, that is cos cube theta d theta. So let us write this relation, and limit of integration should be equal to minus pi by 2, because this angle at the lower side should be equal to minus pi by 2 and upper side should be equal to pi by 2. So this is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, or here we can write 2 multiplied by 0 to pi by 2, right? And we can rearrange this term also for calculating this integral. We will calculate this integral by method of substitution. So for calculating this, we can write cos cube theta equal to cos square theta multiplied by cos theta, right? So here we can write this term as cos square theta multiplied by cos theta, and this cos square theta equal to 1 minus sin square theta. So we can write this term equal to 1 minus sin square theta multiplied by cos theta. So let us substitute this value, right? Now let us simplify this integral. Let us write integral to the next space. Now what we can do, we can change the limit. This is minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. So 0 to 2 multiplication 0 to pi by 2, right? Now we are going to use the method of substitution. We know the differentiation of sin theta equal to cos theta. So here we can substitute this sin theta equal to t. So let us assume sin theta equal to t. Okay. Let us change the limit. When theta equal to 0, t equal to 0. When theta equal to pi by 2, t equal to 1. So this is the final substitution limits. Okay. Now we can substitute 0 to 1, here 1 minus t square, right? And we can differentiate this relation. We will get cos theta d theta equal to dt. Okay. So finally we can substitute in this relation, and this is now a simple integral, and the integration of this equal to t minus t cube divided by 3 and limit 0 to 1. This is 0 to 1. It is not t, it is 0 to 1. So after substituting the limit, 1 minus 1 by 3, right, minus 0, and this is final expression I equal to 2 by 3 mr square. This is the moment of inertia of the hollow sphere about any diametrical axis. Now let us calculate the moment of inertia of a solid sphere. This is a solid sphere of radius capital R. The mass of this solid sphere is capital M, which is uniformly distributed over the volume. Okay, we can define the density, that is the mass density of this solid sphere equal to m divided by volume of this sphere, which is 4 by 3 pi r cube, right? So this volumetric density rho equal to m divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube, right? We can consider this solid sphere is made of a number of the elemental discs placed one above another, coaxial about the y-axis. So here we are going to consider one sample elemental disc, this one. The distance of this elemental disc from the x-axis, let us consider this distance as x, right? And the thickness of this should be equal to dx. This is dx. Okay. The radius of this disc equal to this distance joining the center of this disc to this point. This is the radius, and we can find the value of the radius by using the property of the Pythagoras, because this distance is capital R and this distance equal to small x, and this radius should be equal to under root r square minus x square. So we got the radius. Okay. Now come to calculate the mass of this elemental disc. dm equal to density, that is m divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube multiplied by volume of this disc. Volume of this disc can be calculated by using the volume property of the cylinder, that is area of the base multiplied by length or height, which is nothing but dx. So the volume of this elemental disc should be equal to pi small r square multiplied by dx. This one. Okay. M we have calculated, that is m rho we have calculated, that is equal to capital M divided by 4 pi r cube. So this is the mass of this elemental disk. Okay, we know the formula for calculating the moment of inertia of the disk about the axial line, that is equal to mr square by 2, and here mass is dm and radius is small r. So the di, that is the moment of inertia about the y-axis, or you can say about the axis of this elemental disk, equal to 1 by 2 dm multiplied by r square, small r square. So this is equal to dm multiplication capital R square minus x square, this one. Okay, and we know all disks are placed coaxially. That means moment of inertia here is having the additive property. That means we need to integrate for calculating the total moment of inertia. So I equal to integration of di, this one, right? We know the value of dm, we can substitute the value of dm. So moment of inertia of this sphere should be equal to this one, right? And limit of integration should be equal to, we know, the distance of this disk on this side of x equal to minus r, and distance of the final disk on this side, the upper side, equal to plus r. So the limit of integration is from minus r to plus r, right? So this is the final expression. Let us calculate this integral. So let us write this integral to the next page, this one. We can expand this relation. This relation on expansion will be equal to r to the power 4 plus x to the power 4 minus 2 multiplied by r square x square. Now we can simplify. After integration, we will get this relation equal to r to the power 4 multiplied by x to the power 5 divided by 5 minus 2 r square x to the power 3 divided by 3, right? And limit is 0 to r multiplication 2, right? This is minus r to plus r. So here we can write 2 multiplication 0 to capital R. So this is the limit of integration. Now we can substitute the value of the limit here. Now we can simplify to get the final relation. Here r cube will get cancelled by r to the power 5. So r to the power 2 will remain on the numerator side. This will be equal to, final relation should be equal to this one, 2 by 5 mr square. So this is the moment of inertia of the solid sphere. Now let us learn how to calculate moment of inertia of a solid cone. Let us take a solid cone of base radius capital R and height h. This is having height capital H, right? Here we can consider this solid cone is made of a number of the elemental disk placed coaxial about this dotted vertical line, about this line. Okay. Now we can consider one elemental disk, this one. The distance of this disk from this vertex is x, and the thickness of this disk equal to dx. This is dx, right? And because it is a solid cone, we can consider mass is uniformly distributed over the volume, and we can calculate the density of the distribution of the mass. Rho, that is the density, equal to mass divided by volume of this cone, and volume of the cone equal to 1 by 3 pi r cube pi r square multiplication h. This is the mass density. Okay, we can calculate the mass of this elemental disk, that is dm equal to density multiplied by volume. Volume equal to pi r square. R is the radius, this is the radius, and we can calculate the radius by using the similar triangle property. So we can write this equal to pi r square multiplication dx, that is the volume dv multiplied by rho, right? So we can write this relation. R is the radius. As we discussed, we can calculate r by using the similar triangle property. Okay, so let us calculate this small r. We know this distance is a small r, right? This angle, say theta. So we can observe this is a right angle triangle, and this is again a right angle triangle having the common angle theta. So here in these two triangles we can write small r divided by x equal to capital R divided by h. So we got the value of small r, that is Rx divided by h. Now we can substitute the value of small r to get the value of dm. This is the mass of this elemental disk. We can rearrange and we get the relation, this equal to 3m divided by h cube multiplication x square dx, right? This is the mass. And because this is a disk and we have the formula for calculating moment of inertia about the axis of the disk, that is equal to 1 by 2 mass multiplied by radius square. Mass is dm, radius equal to small r square. So we can write this relation. Okay, now we can substitute the value of dm and r square. Let us write this relation to the next base, and after substituting the value of dm and r, we get this relation. Now we can simplify. We know the constant term, that is 3m h cube r square h square. So this is the constant term. This is the simple integral x to the power 4. The integral of x to the power 4 should be equal to x to the power 5 divided by 5, and limit of x equal to 0 to capital H. So now we can simplify, right? Finally we get this relation, 3 by 10 mr square. Now let us learn how to calculate the moment of inertia of the hollow cone. Let us consider a hollow cone of base radius capital R and height capital H. Okay. In this hollow cone, mass is distributed over the surface. Let us consider this distribution to be uniform, right? So we can consider this hollow cone is made of a number of the elemental rings placed coaxial about the axis of the cone, about this dotted line, right? Let us consider this angle is theta, that is the semi-vertex angle is theta, and let us consider one sample elemental ring, this one. The distance of this elemental ring from this vertex equal to x, and this vertical distance between two faces of the ring equal to dx. Here one thing is to be noted, that dx is not the width of the ring, because this is only the vertical distance between two faces, right? That the upper and lower. So for calculating the actual width, we need to calculate this distance, that is the inclined length. Let us consider the radius. Radius is small r. Small r we can calculate by using the similar triangle property, right? So let us return to calculate the width of the ring. So let us enlarge this section here. This is the actual width, this is the inclined length, and this vertical distance should be equal to dx, and this angle equal to theta. So this is dx. That means this width, that is the inclined length, equal to dx sec theta. So we got the width of the ring. Okay. Now we can find the area of the elemental strip or elemental ring. If we open this elemental ring, this will become elemental rectangular strip like this, right? And the length of this should be equal to 2 pi r small r, and width we have calculated, that is equal to dx sec theta, right? Now we can substitute the value to calculate the ds, 2 pi r multiplied by dx sec theta. We can find the value of small r. Small r is the radius of the elemental ring. That means this value. We can observe here two similar triangles. We know this is capital R, and this height is capital H, and this is a small x, and this is small r. That means we can write here small r divided by small x equal to capital R divided by capital H. That means we got the radius of this elemental ring. Okay, we got the radius. Now we can find the mass of this elemental ring. How to calculate the mass? If we know the surface mass density and multiply it by this area, we can find the mass of this elemental ring, dm. This is the surface mass density and this is the area. Okay. Sec theta we can calculate. For calculating sec theta, we can again observe here this is equal to capital R and this is capital S. That means this distance should be equal to R square plus H square. That means sec theta equal to R under root R square plus H square divided by capital H. This is the sec theta. We can substitute the value of sec theta in this relation. Okay. So we got the value of dm. As we discussed, this sigma equal to mass divided by surface area equal to pi RL, and L is the under root R square plus H square. Let us write this expression to the next page. This one we can further simplify, right? And here pi and R, this will cancel out. H will also get cancelled. So we left with the relation dm equal to 2 capital Mx divided by H square dx. Now we can find the moment of inertia of this ring. We know moment of inertia of the ring about the axis equal to m multiplied by radius square, and radius here is small r. That means we can write di equal to dm multiplied by r square, and we can now write this moment of inertia, this one. dm we have calculated, r value we know, right? We can now substitute the values, and limit is from 0 to capital H. Now we can rearrange this relation like this. This is left with a simple integral of x cube integral equal to x to the power 4 divided by 4, and limit is 0 to h. Now we can further simplify, and finally we will get the relation 1 by 2 mr square. This is the moment of inertia of the hollow cone about the axis.